art of being humble, let me get to it. That motivation music, get control of your life, don't let nobody else do it. So I'm not gonna have Metro S550s cruising. Like you winning on the...
Yes, sir. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to The Run with me, Manny Wilson. All the way from Detroit to Chicago to your speakers and headphones. Now, I appreciate you tuning in to the first interactive sports podcast, a community that makes sure your voice is heard. So if you hear something you agree with, you disagree with, you like or you dislike, go ahead, hit us up on the voicemail line and we'll play your take back on our next episode. That number is 219-413-9405. And speaking of next episodes, shout out to SeatGeek for sponsoring this episode. Get $20 off your first ticket purchase when you use the promo code TheRunPodcast. Now, this code can only be applied for first-time users on the mobile app or website. So I don't know about you, but the NFL season is rolling strong and the MLB playoffs is getting started. So go check out some of them games. One of the games I actually wanted to go to this season was the Falcons and the Commanders game. Now, some mix-up and a couple of different things is happening differently than what I thought was going to be the case. So in this matchup between the Atlanta Falcons and the Washington Commanders, man, the Falcons, they're going to be playing without their cornerback. And, man, it's even worse for the Commanders because they're going to be playing without their quarterback and star receiver, Terry McLaurin. So Jaden Daniels is not going to be active. It's already been mentioned. Terry McLaurin is already not going to be active as well. So these are some of the hits that the Commanders are taking. And initially, a lot of people are like, well, this is kind of a bogus win for the Falcons, and this is going to be a bogus game for the Falcons to play against the Commanders without their star guys. And I get that, but as a Falcons fan here, and I'll tell you, I'll be honest, look, I get they don't have Jaden Daniels, and I get they don't have Scary Terry, but I'll take any win I can get at this point. We just lost 30-0 to the Panthers. Please give me any type of win we can take against this Commanders team. Even if it is beating the hell out of Marcus Mariota, even if it's barely beating Marcus Mariota, I just want some sort of win because I cannot. I don't think my brain can suffer or survive. I don't think my brain can survive another heartbreaking loss against a team we for sure should have beat or at least been in the ball game with. So, yeah, I get it. Commanders, they're down a couple people. They got some bad, substitutes or, some bad injury bugs rolling around the locker room right now. But it's absolutely no way I'm just going to discredit this type of win if the Atlanta Falcons do win. But that's also a whole nother conversation in itself right there because I feel like us as Falcons fans, we're so quick to be like, oh, no Scary Terry, no Jaden Daniels. Like, oh, yeah, we definitely going to win this game. This is a gimme right here. Do not forget what team this is. Please don't forget what team this is with the Falcons. We are the Atlanta Falcons, and this is what this team is. So I just don't want that to be thrown over your head. And then also, too, yeah, they don't have a Scary Terry plan, but the Falcons don't have, we don't have A.J. Terrell, the cornerback right now. So we're missing our star cornerback. Hopefully we can still get some good pressure on the quarterback and get some things locked up on the defensive end. But ultimately, the absolute last thing I want the Falcons to do going against a Commanders team with no Jaden Daniels and no Terry McLaurin is to underestimate the Commanders, similar to what I think they did against the Panthers last week, and they ended up losing 30-0. Can't come into this game like, oh, it's going to be way easier. Can't come into this game like, oh, it's a gimme. We're at home. We're going to win. No, man. I need you to go out here and play like you playing in the Super Bowl every time because I wouldn't put it past the Falcons to go out here and embarrass themselves and embarrass all the fans of this team. So I'm just a little nervous about that. I'll be 100% honest, but I'm hoping that, we really don't have to deal with anything like that because there is some things that I would still be proud of if I just seen differently within the Falcons game with this Commanders team. So I'm not really expecting a blowout or whatever. The defense for the Commanders is still the defense for the Commanders. They still got some great playmakers over there. So I'm not going to completely discredit that side of the ball for the Commanders. The one thing that I would really want to see, regardless of if the Commanders are fully healthy or not, is I want to see this Atlanta Falcons offense go to work. Like, That's the main thing I want to see here. We had a horrendous performance last week, losing to the Panthers, and I just want to see them do a complete 360 and go to work. Who cares if they got Jada? Who cares if they got the injuries with the Commanders? I just want to see the offense go to work because, truthfully, whatever the Commanders got going on the offensive side of the ball, it does not matter, and it does not affect the Atlanta Falcons offensive side of the ball. Like, they just need to go out here and show everybody that they can move the ball. The play calling is not as bad as everybody thinks. Please, I hope the one thing I really hope the Falcons do in this game against the Commanders is go out here and show all the fans, show everybody in the NFL that we're overreacting to Michael Penix Jr., to Drake London, to the whole entire Atlanta Falcons offense. Please just show everybody we're overreacting. Who cares if it is against a beat-down Commanders team? So that's my main thing here. And I know a lot of people are like, oh, but I'm not going to be proud of this win if we do. But you got to take the wins when you can get them in the NFL, man. It's not easy to win any game in the NFL. So you got to take your wins where you can get them. And, you know, it's going to be a tough matchup. I still think it will be something to keep an eye out for the Commanders defense, just because we don't know how the Falcons are going to look. We don't know how they're going to look so far. So I am curious about that. Now, another thing, too, that I am worried about is A.J. Terrell. I want A.J. Terrell to be healthy. I think it was a hamstring for the reason that he was not healthy. Hamstring injury is looking like the same thing, same cause of what it was. I want to say week 2, maybe, when he went down in the game against the Vikings. And here is where we are going to need him down the line. Not just yet. Obviously, hopefully, we can beat the Commanders without him. But you can't, I want him to get healthy much faster, and I think it would be definitely beneficial if we could have him on the defensive side of the ball, because this is a guy who we heavily rely on to go into man coverage. He's guarding the other team's best wide receiver at times, a lot of times throughout the game, and we're gonna definitely need that, whether it's in this Commanders game, whether it's the following week against the Bills. So we just need him healthy, and also, too, the rest of our guys on that defensive front, man, I'm curious to see what type of pressure we can bring. Last week, actually, against the Panthers, we did not get a lot of pressure on Bryce Young. This is something that I want to see the Falcons adjust to. I want to see the Falcons make a difference in terms of being able to bring pressure onto the other side of the ball with the Commanders. I want to see them bring pressure toward Marcus Mariota. If Jaden Daniels is playing, I would want to see them bring pressure toward Jaden Daniels. So, these are things on the defensive end. I get it. Commanders' offense is hindered just a little bit, but we can still go out here and put on a good performance and show that last week was just a complete fluke, and last week was just one of those weeks where in the course of a 16, 17 game season, you have 1 or 2 weeks like that. You just have sometimes where you go out and you look bad. So I'm hoping that was just the case. And I hope the Falcons just do everything opposite of what they did in that game against the Panthers, if anything, because that was not a good representation of what we have worked on in the summer and what type of potential this team has in the future. So I'm ready to see them completely 360 it. But other than that, man, I am a little nervous because Commanders, I mean, hey, man, they well coached. They're well coached over there. So I'm a little nervous. Don't really know how much firepower they're going to come out with, what type of game plan they're going to come out with. Ultimately, I just know the Falcons need to have answers when we are looking ahead at this Commanders game, man, because we went to sleep. We went to sleep against the Panthers, and that was pretty much another bye week. Maybe we was running off the high of winning and beating the Vikings on the road. Seems like that was the case just a little bit. So things definitely need to change coming into week 4. And week 4, we gotta really set the tone. I'm hoping that they set the tone and come out with a new type of intensity for this offense. Man, my God, I don't know how many times I can repeat this with the Falcons offense. For this Falcons offense against the Commanders, please have some sort of urgency when you're on the field, whether it's with the play calling, whether you're trying to sell a play action, whether you're trying to sell a handoff, whatever it is. Please come out with some sort of urgency to show teams that we mean business. That's really all I want to see. I want to see the offense reach their full potential, at least, because right now I think the ceiling is very high with Drake London, Bijan Robinson. You got Kyle Pitts, who's been playing pretty good so far, and I think the ceiling is really high with this offense. But as of now, they're not showing us anything. They're showing that it's a tragedy over there, a tragedy. So I'm gonna leave it at that. Hopefully they step up big time. Defense need them to step up big time too. Curious to see what type of things we do and how much pressure we bring on Mariota. He was decent. He's pretty bad, but he was decent last week with the Commanders. But I mean, either way, I still need to see the defense rise to the occasion and really show up and show out. This is the biggest thing. This just cannot be a sleeper week. This cannot be another week of, oh, we play a team who's not that good and all of a sudden we get popped again. No, right now, the Falcons, we are the team that's not good. So they got to come out and set the tone. Hoping we see that. But other than that, look, man, we got some news coming up in just a sec. Some stuff about week 4 injuries and all these matchups that's happening. So stay tuned. We'll go over all the matchups and everything in week 4. And we'll be right back. It's halftime. Oh, man, I ain't even, I didn't get the name up and anything. I was slipping. Guess we're not gonna have a description for this one, but it is what it is, man. Can't hit all the home runs. Can't hit all the home runs. You can hit some, but every hit not gonna be a home run. We'll just go with that. All right. News coming up. So we'll do that. Let's jump into the news. All right, man. Welcome back to The Run with me, Manny Wilson. Let's get into it. We got some news for The Run. If you want to chime in on anything, go ahead. Hit us up, 219-413-9405. And, of course, we will play your take back on our next episode. All right, so news for The Run of the NFL, man. We're going to start off with some injuries and key things that will kind of play a role in week 4 with the schedule. So Xavier Worthy of the Chiefs will be active in week 4. He practiced all week, but, you know, he's finally healthy. So he went down with that collision injury. It was a shoulder injury. I think it was week 1. He collided with Travis Kelce. It was a nasty collision there. But he's back. He'll be healthy in the matchup against the Ravens. New York Giants, they got a new starting quarterback coming up in week 4. So rookie quarterback Jackson Dart will start over Russell Wilson in week 4 of the NFL. Now, Russ, he was the starter the first 3 weeks, but the Giants, they seem that they're going to go in a different direction, give the rookie a shot, see what they can do, see what happens. Malik Neighbors will also be available to play in week 4 after going down with an injury last week. Now, it was like mid-game, and he went down with the injury. So this is also going to be huge for Jackson Dart, being able to have his number 1 target, number 1 option there at receiver. So that's huge. For the New England Patriots, the defensive coordinator, Terrell Williams, man, he's been diagnosed with prostate cancer, and he's in the process of determining a treatment plan. So as of right now, there's no estimate on how long or if he will step away from the Patriots, but head coach Vrabel said he just wanted to get the word out there. That way everyone could, at least be aware of if he's gone and stuff like that. So, and I'm paraphrasing right now. That wasn't a direct quote, but that is the case with most of like the injuries and all of those things. So let's go to week 4 in the NFL because we got couple of interesting matchups, and I can't wait to actually check these things out. So the first game that's happening, actually it already happened, the Seahawks and the Cardinals for Thursday Night Football. Seahawks ended up winning that matchup 23-20. They won off a game-winning field goal. That was a wild game there. I didn't stay and watch all of it, honestly. I went to bed at half, man. I got to get up early. So I didn't stay and watch the whole game, but I did watch most of the half. I seen Marvin Harrison get his touchdown reception, and he was dropping a lot of passes, so I'm glad he did step up because Marvin Harrison, man, he's a guy, he's got a lot of potential. Obviously a huge draft pick and was a huge prospect coming out of college, and great season his rookie year, but man, it's been a rough start for Marvin Harrison Jr. so far, getting involved in the offense and just dropping passes and causing turnovers and all sort of things like this. So it's stuff you usually don't see from a number 1 receiver or an elite prospect who was picked in the first round. So Man, he's got to get it together. Hopefully he will very soon, but early in the season, still time for him to turn it around if he really wants to. Other than that, man, Sunday games, you got the Commanders and Atlanta Falcons. This is going to be happening in Atlanta. Of course, I'm hoping the Falcons win, man. I need the Falcons to get this dub. But, hey, man, all biases aside, I would still go with the Falcons. I think they just had a down week last week, but hopefully they get it together this week. Vikings and the Steelers will play against each other. And in this matchup between the Vikings and the Steelers, we still have Carson Wentz playing quarterback for the Vikings. And I honestly think, so if Carson Wentz, he's been pretty solid at quarterback. He had a great, a great debut with the Vikings, I should say. And then he's stepping in now with the Steelers in this matchup of week 4. If Carson Wentz dominates in week 4 and has a great game come week 4, I really think there's a chance that we might not see J.J. McCarthy back on the field. Because why would you kill the momentum of Carson Wentz if he's been playing good? He got a dub last week. If he goes and gets this dub this current week in week 4 against the Steelers, I think that even builds more of his case. And if he wins the following week after that, you just almost got to ride out the heat, man. You got to let Carson Wentz stay in the game, stay at QB1. And granted, if he starts playing bad again, maybe you do go J.J. McCarthy. But as of now, this is going to be a big game for the Vikings and the Steelers. Really for the Vikings, man, and Carson Wentz. I'm happy he's back playing football and, getting some time on the field because can't forget, man, this was MVP right here. This was MVP Carson Wentz. He helped the Eagles pretty much get to the Super Bowl. He just couldn't get a chance to actually close out the game due to injury and close out the wins in the playoffs due to injury. So Vikings Steelers going to be a great matchup. And that game is played in Ireland. Wow, crazy, overseas. And that's going to start at 8:30 a.m. So that's the early morning. Well, I'm Central Time, so probably 9:30 for a lot of you guys. But it's going to be an early game, Vikings and Steelers. So other than that, you got the Saints and the Bills. Of course, I'm going with the Bills to win that. And I never said Vikings or Steelers, but I'm going with the Vikings to actually win that. I hope they do win that. So Cleveland Browns and the Detroit Lions, I think that's pretty obvious. I'm going with the Lions to win this matchup here. We'll see what happens. Panthers, Patriots. I'm going with the Patriots to win. Patriots are at home. Patriots 1-2 right now. Both of these teams are 1-2. I know home and field advantage don't really mean too much with the Patriots because they are 0-2 at home, but I think this is the time where they finally step it up. They get tired of losing at home. So hopefully the Patriots end up winning that, and I could be correct. Chargers and Giants, I'm looking forward to watching this game here. Chargers are 3-0, Giants are 0-3. And this game is playing at home for the Giants in New Jersey, but I got the Chargers winning that for sure. Eagles and the Buccaneers happening in Tampa, Florida. This is a must-watch game. I cannot wait to watch this game. I think it's going to be very exciting. I'll touch on it a little bit more after this, but Titans and Texans, man, I got the Texans pulling this win out, man. It's a division matchup here, but the Texans, they're going to be in Houston playing in front of the home crowd. So we'll see what happens there. The Rams and the Colts, I'm intrigued by this matchup as well. I definitely want to dive into this just a little bit before we go. 49ers and Jaguars, I got the 49ers winning. They are going to be at home in Santa Clara, so I got the 49ers winning. Jaguars really hasn't shown me too much promise so far, so I don't really have much faith in them. Ravens and the Chiefs happening in Kansas City, which is going to be a great matchup. I'm hoping for a great game here, but I'm going with the Ravens to win this ball game on the road, even though it's at Arrowhead. Chiefs, they just don't really have me convinced right now, man. I'm not really too convinced that the Chiefs are back or Chiefs have a dominant offense or anything like that. Bears and the Raiders. Raiders are at home in this matchup. I'm going with the Bears to actually win. Bears looked pretty good last week, but don't be shocked if the Raiders end up protecting home field. I'm going to just say that. But I think Bears maybe build off of that momentum that they had last week playing at home against the Cowboys. So we'll see. Packers and Cowboys. I'm intrigued by this matchup as well. Packers, Cowboys. I'm going with the Packers to win, man. Cowboys just looked absolutely horrible. Cowboys, I have no faith in the Cowboys that they win against the Packers, who have a top 5 defense. You could argue, and honestly, if the offense is rolling better than what it was against the Cleveland Browns in the past week, then I definitely think the Packers end up winning this game by possibly double digits. The Cowboys, they just looked sloppy. They couldn't tackle. It was just mental errors that they were having last week on the road. So they are back home, and that will probably help them in their case a little bit. But I highly doubt the Cowboys end up winning this game. And if they do, it will strictly be because we've seen a great performance from Dak Prescott, a conversation that is going to change the outlook on how we are viewing him currently. So, yeah, I'm going with Packers to win this game for sure. Other than that, then Monday Night Football, we got the New York Jets and the Miami Dolphins. Man, give me the Jets to get the dub, even though the game is in Miami. And then I'm going with the Bengals and the Broncos game. This is a doubleheader on Monday night, so you'll see both of these teams. And going with the Bengals to win, even though there is no Joe Burrow. I think they still find a way to get it done. But it'll be a tough matchup because Broncos are at home. So we'll see. Now, a couple of games I mentioned that I did want to elaborate on. The Eagles and the Buccaneers, I'm intrigued by this because Buccaneers 3-0, 3-game winning drives. Eagles 3-0, had some great moments, comeback win against the Rams. These matchups have been very great. I think Bucs, they got the home field advantage right now, so that could possibly help them. I think the Buccaneers will also give the Eagles a good run for their money just because they have a very dynamic offense. You let Baker Mayfield throw the ball, he can do it. He can throw all over you. He can run a little bit. And also, you got to take into consideration the Buccaneers' run game. They have a solid run game. You got kind of a three-headed monster in the backfield there at times, but Buccaneers are definitely solid here. So this is going to be a tough matchup, but looking into the Eagles window just a little bit as well, this team just always seems to find a way to win, which is just difficult to beat. Coming off a Super Bowl, they've hit this season rolling, beat the Cowboys, was a close game, beat the Chiefs, was a close game, came back and beat the Rams when everybody pretty much thought the game was over. So this Eagles team is definitely not going to quit. And because of that, you have to take into consideration what the Eagles bring. Obviously, the dynamic duo, Jalen Hurts and Saquon Barkley, is always going to be a factor. But same things I said about the Buccaneers of the run game and the quarterback being able to hurt you in multiple ways. You can say all those same things about the Philadelphia Eagles because the defense is there. The run game is there when it's clicking. Hurts can throw the ball, get it downfield. The receivers are active. Like these teams are very, very well balanced, and it's a great matchup for each other. So this is definitely going to be a game that I keep an eye out for, and a game that I'm going to pay attention to and watch because it can really go either way. I think if I have to choose a team to win between the Buccaneers and the Eagles, I'm going with the Buccaneers, man, just because they've been good. They've been good. And I think this is the time. I don't know who's statistically the underdog in terms of, betting or anything like that. But I think the Buccaneers have been a sleeper for the past few years in the NFC, and winning this game here will really wake a lot of people up in terms of the Buccaneers being an elite team. Baker Mayfield has been nothing but elite these past few weeks and honestly past few years with the Buccaneers. So him winning this game against the Eagles will definitely show a lot of people. So I got the Buccaneers winning this game. It'll be a shocker, and I won't be surprised if the Eagles win, but I think Buccaneers are just as dynamic as the Eagles when you break it down, from quarterback, running backs, defense, receivers, all of that. And there'll be no Mike Evans, but Buccaneers are still just as dynamic as the Eagles. So any way you want to look at the Eagles and favor some statistics, you can also do the same thing with Buccaneers. And man, so I'm going with the Bucs to win specifically because they're at home. And I mean, hey man, Eagles are a good road team. They don't won already on the road. So we will see, but Buccaneers to win that game. Another game I said I was going to elaborate on was the Rams and the Colts. So I held this one off too because Rams was honestly supposed to win last week against the Eagles. And the Colts, they're rolling hot right now, 3-0. Man, we've seen just a completely different side of Daniel Jones. I don't know what it is about the New York Giants when they get rid of somebody, but whenever the Giants get rid of somebody, apparently they get like 10 times better. So Daniel Jones has done just that. The offense looks very free-flowing. The run game is just thriving right now with Jonathan Taylor. Receivers are getting open. The Colts look good. So I want to really pay attention to this game between the Colts and the Rams, because I really want to truly evaluate how good the Colts are. And I think this is a great game to do that against the Rams, who kind of have a powerhouse offense led by Matthew Stafford. You can never count any Matthew Stafford offense out. So I think it's very important that we consider, the competition that's there on the Rams. Obviously, the Rams defense is going to do what they do. Sometimes they show up, sometimes they don't. But ultimately, when you look at a team who can stay with you in the scoring total, Rams are just that. They were supposed to beat the Eagles, but they gave up a lot of points. I think they gave up 19 straight points, and that was it. So Colts, Rams, definitely going to be a good matchup, but I think I want to go with the underdogs here and see how well the Colts do. So I'm going to go with the Colts to win this game here against the Rams. And Colts have been hot. They've been rolling, and I got to give them credit because 3-0, one win on the road already. And Daniel Jones, I just want to see how long he can keep this hot streak and keep this offense playing to perfection. So I want to check this game out with the Colts and the Rams, but I got the Colts winning this ball game for sure. Other than that, man, I'm excited to look at these matchups. I can't wait to see definitely Eagles, Buccaneers, Colts, Rams. Those are like the main two games that I'm focusing on. And then Ravens and Chiefs, of course, you got to pay attention to them. And then, hopefully my Falcons win. I'm going to just leave it at that. So, but no, some great matchups definitely coming in week 4. And I'm excited for it. But the season is going on, man. And, teams is getting hot. Some teams ain't really doing too much. But I'm excited about it. So other than that, man, look, that's all I got for you. So I appreciate you if you've been kicking it, you've been hanging, you in a live or you listening live, whatever the case is, man. I really do appreciate it. And man, look, I'll leave y'all with the positive note. The positive note today is just gonna be as simple as, look, man, just keep going. Even if you're tired. Sometimes when you're tired and you go again and you just put that extra rep in. Sometimes that's where you get better sometimes. So we'll see. You never know. But accept that however you want. Other than that, that's all I got for you, man. So I'm going to take off. Y'all enjoy the weekend. It's Friday, whatever that. Usually I record Thursday, but Thursday, it couldn't happen this week. Couldn't happen. That's all. That's all I'm going to say. But I'll see y'all later on next week. And so on and so on and so on.